This is Johnny G. Rowe from the Merrick's Rogues, here at the Zolocon. Let's have some fun.
What is Fuge?
It's the centrifuge. It's the largest, most powerful centrifuge in the world. This is actually where Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong had trained before they went out in outer space. Yeah. So they spin. That thing would spin like the G-force like 3 times the speed of gravity.
And it's here?
Yeah, it's still up there. And actually, the real cool thing about the place too is that when that would work, it would take all the electricity from the local area, so everything would dim. So it's really
That's pretty
back
wild.
in the day.
This is my 3rd year as a guest at Zolocon. Yeah, every year I've sold prints. These are just pictures, actually taken by my brother Peter Toulet. He's a really good photographer.
Now what size t-shirt?
And yeah, just sell prints, interact with people, and generally have a good time. You can see my banner in the background here. I have a Batgirl, Jyn Erso, Padme costume from Star Wars, Cammy, who's also another Star Wars character, but that's not very recognizable or well known, and then my Star Trek. So I pretty much just stick to Supergirl because everybody knows who she is.
And what really made you pick Supergirl as your preferred cosplay?
Actually, my brother has told me for years that, like, to him, I'm Supergirl.
Oh, really?
And I just kind of decided to make it a reality, and yeah, it's worked out.
6, 4, 5, 3, 8, 6. Anybody with that number?
How do you like the show? Is it pretty cool?
Yeah,
different, right?
Very good. I've never been in this place, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's all part of the atmosphere. You know, we try to get like
I think. Now earlier, 25 for that, right? 25, yeah. So we do 15 just to get rid of it? Yeah, right. I think it all.
Shop Props. We're a small local company. We started out wanting to make helmets for other fans because we're Star Wars fans. A lot of guys will sell these helmets $300-400, but we wanted to price them what we would want to pay as Star Wars fans. So everything you see here that's unfinished is under $200.
Here's a sample of a finished one right here that we've done. There's no padding on the inside, but you can see what the end result can be. And we're also working on armor for certain characters. We're also working on the Inferno squad armor from Battlefront 2. So we're doing that as well.
Well, some of them are. Mostly we just get the patterns and then we print those out in 3D printer. We finish them off with Bondo. We sand those down to get them smooth. And then we make casts off of those of silicone. Then we just mold these out of resin. So they're very sturdy. You can knock them around, drop them, do whatever, and they're still going to look good. So they take paint well, and they're good quality helmets.
Yeah, they look really, really nice. I know since one had LEDs, like how long did it take you to get all that in there?
I didn't actually do that one in particular. Chad, how long did that take?
Week and a half, I guess. Yeah. Depends on how much time we
Yeah.
It took a couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it can definitely show. I mean, this looks very spot on.
We're very proud of our work. You know, we started out about a year ago. A lot of these helmets, guys sell them for $300-400, sometimes even more than that. And that's a lot of money. And one of the things we wanted to do as fans was for our other fans, we wanted to price them what we would want to pay as fans. So everything you see here, the unfinished helmets like you see down there, are under $200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like our basic one, this one right here, $100.
Oh.
At the convention, at least.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, without shipping and handling. Basic Boba Fett helmet, you can make a Boba Fett, you can make your own. It doesn't matter. You can get creative, do whatever you want. But yeah, you won't find the price like this anywhere else, and we're very proud of that as well. These are primarily display pieces, though. Of course, I think Chad is working on the costume. Chad's the other fellow with us here today. These are his. Whose is this, Chad?
One of the Mando Mercs.
Okay, another Mando Mercs.
Real quick, before we go though,
Yeah.
Which one do you say is your favorite one?
Man, that's hard to choose. I guess the basic, you know,
the
the
basic
original,
one?
the classic. Yeah, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, you can't beat the original, right?
Nope.
It's pretty cool. And you mentioned that you're fans. Like, what particular series got you into molding these?
For me, particularly, it was the original trilogy, the first 3 Star Wars movies. You know, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
The best ones.
Oh yeah. They're classic. You know, they're so historically and culturally significant. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone ought to see them at least once.
Actually, I know a lot of people that have, and it's pretty sad.
Oh yeah, but they inspire your imagination in a way that very few other films do, and I think that's one of the very special things about it.
Well, we've been in the toy business for about 20 years or so now. We started off at McFarlane Toys, and we were there for about 5 years, and then we've been our own company since then, and we've done a lot of the toy lines for Mattel over the years. So we've worked on their DC figures, Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, and as we've been working on that stuff, we've always wanted to come up with our own homegrown toy lines. And we've tried a few different lines over the years, but this Mythic Legions has been the one that's really connected with people. And this has been out for about 2 years now.
Now I noticed that you guys have like knights and like mythical beasts, and then you jump to like bird people. Like, do they share like a canonical universe? Is there like a lore?
They do. The birds actually came first. Those were around a little bit longer, and there is a connection between those and the knights and more traditional fantasy. But it's also kind of evolved more into the full-on fantasy aspect. But they are a part of it, yes.
So, what made you decide on birds to start your line then?
It really wasn't. It kind of worked, and it didn't really work out the way that it was initially planned. It's the necessity of the toy making process. Originally, the birds were part of a line where there was a single Raven character that was part of a larger scope of characters. But the way that with the tooling expenses that are involved with making an action figure, when we make a bird figure, we need to make several bird figures using that body. And we did a Kickstarter for that line, and it went from possibly being 6 figures to I believe it was 13 birds in that line. And then we did an entire second line where we doubled the number of birds because the birds just became a huge hit. And so it was never a plan to just do a bird line, but it was amazing how people connected to the birds when we would be at shows and people would come up and look at them, and you know, the Cardinal was their favorite football team, or you know, whatever, an owl was their alma mater, their high school alma mater, or whatever. And so everybody had their own connection to a bird, and that line just kind of took on a life of its own that we could have never anticipated.
Like you said that you started out with Kickstarter. Is that like a thing you guys still do? Like,
yes, we kind of, the way that the lines work for us is we do a Kickstarter, and then we do releases in between out of our own web store, and then next time we need to do a large batch of tooling, then we'll do another Kickstarter. So far we've done 3 Kickstarters with several releases in between. So that's become the pattern for us. And the Kickstarter is an amazing venue for a toy line like this, because there's just no way that we could have come out of the gate doing a line like this without having a platform like Kickstarter.
Absolutely. Now, do you ever think that when you started your journey, you'd be sitting in a place like this where they trained astronauts and selling your figures that you came up with?
No. No, simply no. This is a one-of-a-kind experience here for sure. We've done several shows over the years, but never in a centrifuge before.
Like this one takes the cake.
Yeah, definitely.
Does the door open? Yeah, press the button right there. You see a button in front of it? That one is fine.
Oh. I'd like one of those little green goblins in the claw machine.
Yeah, it is.
Claw.
Here's the deal. I don't have batteries in this one. You press the button, 2 lights come on, and it goes.
Oh man, that is so cool.
All the dialogue from the first movie. Engine lights up, lights in there light up. Chest table lights up.
The Legacy?
Yeah.
Yep.
What are you selling that for?
This one's
my
for,
goodness.
I have one over there that's missing the
You should
mentor.
buy one of these. Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead! Does anyone get that? What's wrong with you people?
I'm here with Jack Sparrow.
Captain?
Captain Jack Sparrow.
We'll just go with Captain Jack.
Captain Jack.
Copyright infringement.
All right, so what brings you out to Zolocon today, man?
Well, we're here raising money for the Pediatric Cancer Foundation of the Lehigh Valley. and we're raffling off T-shirts. We're doing toys, all of this kind of stuff, all to raise money for a very worthwhile cause.
It's pretty awesome so far.
You've been upstairs, right?
Not yet. We're working our way up.
I'll wait till you go up
Dude, it's awesome up here. Look at this. Whoa.
Want to go take a picture too?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was a sculptor for Mattel for 8 years.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
When I, went independent, so I do the action figures, the boss fight studio custom figures.
Oh wow, really?
The cosplay guns and the Thulu sculpt. And Gus has worked for me for years. He's a mask. He's an accomplished sculptor. He specializes in masks, especially license. So he's got a Guar mask that he's working on now.
That's a custom commission, not a license.
Right, and he is the preferred sculptor for the Living Corpse comic book.
Oh, okay.
And
that's pretty cool.
So Gus runs several series of masks and action figure sculpts. I'm generally the small scale sculptor, and we both are the large scale sculptors. I mean, I've been collecting toys since I was a little kid. My father used to say, you're going to be playing with little men when you're an adult, and he used to tease me about that. So my first paycheck from Mattel, I showed him, and he stopped making that joke.
Oh, one more question. What
Sure.
made you want to leave Mattel and go on your own?
If you've ever seen like the movie Big, where they talk about the toy industry and everything's fun, it's complete and utter horseshit. It is the most
Really?
Shark Tank, backstabbing, toxic environment, and it's incestuous. You got people that go from Hasbro to Kenner, from Kenner to Mattel, from Mattel to Tyco, from Tyco to another, and we bounce back and forth, and they kind of carry the shit with them. So a lot of the guys, like the Boss Fight Studio guys, like they all came from the toy industry. Solomon Witt, who's doing Star Screamers, he came from the toy industry. Nowadays, a lot of the old school guys have all gone independent, and with 3D printing and print on demand and short runs in China, we don't need the big companies anymore. So a lot of us are kind of going out on our own and using the internet and social media to push our brands, Kickstarter to not even get the money, but get the word out. The guys from Beast from Mesozoic, Zombie Labs, Kentucky Fried Toys, all great sculptors, all great toy guys. Even the Zolocon guys. I mean, the Zolocon guys here have their own toy lines. Same thing. We've all gone independent.
Okay.
So screw Hasbro, screw Tyco, screw Mattel. If they're out there, bite me.
Stole my first battery. Okay. That's right.
That's a legacy.